excited to bring you, I think, my very first cover band interview. And this is with Groundwave.
Oh, hello.
So first off, I want to know, and all my fans out there want to know, who you are and what you do in the band. So let's start with you.
I am Casey Webb. I'm lead vocals, rhythm guitar, and anything else they need me to do for a song or two.
Do you load in equipment too?
No,
Don't go there.
I have minions. I have minions for that.
I'm Gary Hunsinger. I play the drums.
Okay.
That's it?
Isn't that enough?
He does little backup vocals too. He's the manager of
microphone.
He's the manager of the band. He's the manager of the band. He gets us most of our gigs. He does the Facebook.
Gary.
He does all of our posters with all that
inside.
stuff, man. No, Gary's much more than the drummer.
Okay, very cool. Okay, your turn.
Oh, me. I'm Jason Haxton. I am the spilling my beer as the lead guitarist of Groundwave.
Is that it?
I some backup vocals as well.
Sometimes I do the web, groundwave.band. It's a new thingy, not .com. And anyways, I do that, and they try to keep me in line. Because I get out of line a lot.
We got to reel them back sometimes. I'm Rick Santola. I'm the bass player and backup vocals, background vocals, and
lighting guy.
And the oldest guy in the band.
Are you?
Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
Big time. I'm just kidding.
We take a lot of breaks because I'm in the band.
Oh my!
The doctor's appointments or what?
No, just get winded.
Okay. Okay, so I want to know about Groundwave. So I'm going to tell you guys, I have never interviewed a cover band before, so you were my very first. So we're going to get into a little bit of the specifics of the cover band, but tell me a little bit about Groundwave. Why did you choose Groundwave for your name?
You know what? It was a decision by committee, to be honest with you. I'm not sure.
Very democratic.
Well, the four of us all came up with different names.
Like 100 of them.
Pumping Irony!
Like what?
That was his favorite.
Pumping Irony was my favorite.
Actually, I kind of like Casey and the Cassettes was kind of cool.
I like Pumping Irony because it's a cover band, irony and all that. But that was brought up a good point. If you name yourself something with the word irony in it, you're really kind of tying yourself to being a cover band exclusively. And while we love being a cover band, we would like to get into originals eventually.
Oh, nice.
And so it's what it is. But I thought it was a good play on words, and I love plays on words. So go ahead.
I think we definitely wanted a name that was easy enough to say. 2 syllables, 1 word.
They spoke.
So it's Groundwave.
Groundwave.
Exactly.
It actually has it has some significance to it. It's, without getting too scientific or technical, it has to do with how radio or sound transmission carries over the earth. So it has kind of a musical connotation to it.
Sure. Okay.
So we're like humpback whales, but on land?
We're like humping.
I didn't know this. I'm learning something tonight. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
And so how long have you been together as a band?
As a band or as...
When we first started rehearsing, it was...
Who's original?
Original?
Who's the original members of the band? You're all original.
Well, Rick and Gary were in another band prior to this.
Which was?
Jason and I were in a band.
Which was
together
what
prior
band?
to this.
Another cover band.
Which was?
It was called 4 Shades of Grey.
Okay.
Which was a long name.
Okay.
Hence this one chose a
Hence too short. Okay, got it. Okay, I have it thinking.
And then Jason and I were in another band called Strictly for Kicks.
Okay.
Which has a long, rich history.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did you all become Groundwave?
The story.
Come on, man.
Well, without giving too much detail.
Well, that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Well, where are we? We are in Loomis, California. Little town of Loomis, California.
Yes.
And actually, that's where there's a large connection to that because Jason and I both graduated high school together.
Nice.
Del Oro.
Okay.
Del Oro High School.
Year.
Same year.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And Rick lives in Loomis, and we've adopted Casey.
Yeah.
He has
So
no
you're
connection to Loomis whatsoever.
You're off the island here.
I've only lived in California since '05.
Oh, nice.
Prior to that, I
we'll
lived
talk
all
about
over the
that.
place.
Okay. Okay.
But the band that we were in kind of dissolved. I contacted Jason because I knew Jason was in the
In
band.
a highly acidic environment.
So I contacted Jason. I'm like, hey, we want to just keep going. You know, we're the rhythm section. We want to keep going. Do you know any guitarists or, you know, singers that are out there that we can connect with? Jason plays bass guitar in Strictly for Kicks. And he had always played guitar originally.
We were in rival bands in high school.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he was like, well, I'd really like to get back into guitar. And he's like, I'll talk to Casey and see if he might want to sing. And Strictly for Kicks are more of a blues-based, you could describe it better, but more of a blues-based band, so it was a different vibe. And we were like, let's try it out. We'll see. So.
And I'm a child of the 80s and that rock and roll.
Who is not right up in
Likewise.
this area?
Oh,
Not a
man.
child of the
Oh, my
80s
God.
right
I
now.
mean, I love the blues, but I had to have the rock.
Yeah. Okay. So what year was that?
It's been about 2 years now. We've been
Okay.
together for 2 years. We've
Okay.
been
2.5, almost 3.
Like 2.5. We got together
Maybe 3.
specifically for a show. We did a show, and then so we built a set specifically for the West Coast Brew Festival
Yes.
in
I've been
Sacramento. And we did that set, and then we kind of built up a whole another set so we can actually go out into area clubs and start playing.
We were released into the wild after that.
Oh no.
So we did an initial gig, and then there was probably a 6-month
Right.
break or so before we really started getting out and playing on a regular basis.
And where do you play now on a regular basis?
We play all over.
Trocadero, Jan's, the
But you're the
Trocadero
house
and
band
Roseville.
right now.
At the
Trocadero.
Trocadero?
Yes,
Okay.
we
Which
are.
Which is in Roseville.
Yeah, Old Town
Okay.
Roseville. If you've never been to
Kitty
the
corner to
Trocadero,
kind of kitty corner to the Opera House.
Right across the street. Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there a time for you.
Had you.
You gotta love the truck.
It's fun. Strong drinks. Good bands.
Good band.
so Groundwave plays every third Friday, beginning in January of 2019. We're the house band from 6 to 9 p.m. And it's a great venue. The place is great for drinks, and it's in an old historic building. But what's nice about the show is you could go from there over to Bar 101 if you want to see a band
Where we've
starting
also played.
later. Yeah, we've also played at Bar
A
101.
few.
Or Opera House, where you can catch some great shows. So I mean, you know,
Isn't Onyx over there as well?
Onyx is
Is Onyx still there?
I don't know. Is
Alco's
the Alco's still there?
Alco's
Alco's probably
there.
still there. I don't know.
Boxing Donkeys around the corner.
Okay.
I think they bring some
Okay.
bands.
So it's in the old,
Old Town Roseville.
old town Roseville.
So we're there 6 times in 2019.
And is that free to go?
It is free to go.
That is free to go from 6 to 9?
From 6 to 9.
6 to 9, oh, very cool.
No
It's a geezer gig. It's fantastic.
It's okay.
Seriously, you can party like an animal and be home by 10.
Hey, it's a total user boy. I like that, yes.
I'm
I did-
there for that.
I didn't steal that line from somebody else though. So in case the originator copyrighted that or trademarked it,
Okay.
I'm
So-
paying homage to that.
What type of music do you play? That's a tough one, I
Yeah,
know.
good mix, yeah.
We like to play. Oh, go ahead.
I always say everything from Chuck Berry and Cream all the way up to
Really?
Prince and the White
Yeah.
Stripes.
Really?
We're all over the place.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
good,
we
it's
play
good time rock and roll.
From
Absolutely.
A to Z, AC/DC to ZZ Top.
Nice.
Yeah, there you go.
That is
Perfect.
Now, what is your main focus? Because being a cover band is very difficult because when people go out to see a cover band, they want to know that they're getting the top notch, on point, on cue, on pitch, on everything when they go see a cover band. So how do you guys do that?
Well, we
Very poorly known.
no, we don't exactly do that. What we try to do is capture the spirit of the band when we're learning. So for instance, when we're learning songs, and we know our own limitations, and we work within them, and we try to shine as best we can within that. But yeah, we when we're looking into the song, so you hear the song on the radio all the time. Well, how does that band do it live? Because they sure as heck don't play it the same live as they do in the studio.
Exactly.
So why would I choose as a live band to go and do like backing tracks and all the electronics that are involved and all that stuff? So we do a lot of research and watch a lot of videos and come up with an amalgamation of their styles and throughout the years, like can come together from that we played from Aerosmith version of the Beatles come together. Man, we take the best of the Aerosmith stuff from the studio all the way up through 2016, the latest song that I saw, or that we studied. So we try to take the best of what the bands have given live and give it to our fans.
Also, while at the same time you might catch me doing vocal exercises in my car prior to a gig, you also will not find me wearing Prince's assless pants. But we do.
Oh.
So
Thank God for the drummer's perspective. Let's just point that out.
So we put everything we can into every song. Of course we do. But if you don't have Prince up on the stage, there's some artists, be they bassists, lead guitarists, drummers, vocalists that they've got a great thing going. But if you can't quite nail one part, does that mean that you can't nail the song and really get people moving? I don't think so.
Yeah.
So do you put your own spin on certain songs?
Sure, absolutely.
Sure. Okay.
Absolutely.
We do our own arrangements on occasion.
Okay.
And
Yeah, it comes
For the
out
most
good.
part, I think we really strive for accuracy, but sometimes we think we can improve on the originals, frankly.
Right.
Not to be big-headed, but truthfully, there are certain. You'll hear a live version that was done 20 years after the band was all in their 20s, and now they're in their 40s, and they figured out a few things musically in those 20 years that they've incorporated, and you go, wow, that's the way they should have recorded it.
Mhm.
Exactly.
So,
And that does happen.
absolutely.
So what would you say are your crowd favorites that you do?
rockers.
Well, we pull
No,
It's
rock.
kind of
So
a
we
mix,
put
yeah.
our
No,
dance
seriously.
or dance songs, really. We
Yeah,
want to get the crowd
Anything that gets
dancing.
people's feet on the floor.
Any rock and roll song that's danceable.
Or
Which
movable.
are
Movable,
which
yeah.
ones do you guys? Which ones do? So when you go to play at the Trocadero, which ones do you find typically get the crowd up and moving?
ZZ Top.
Tom Petty,
Yep.
Judas Priest.
Yeah.
Wild Thing by Tone Loc.
Yes,
which
we
is
do
a-
that.
Which is a wild one that we do. And then,
Oh, Fight for Your
that's
Right.
the word wild. And then Fight for Your Right.
Yeah.
By the Beastie Boys. We do a lot of things.
Zombie makes people
The Kiss
crazy.
song, the
Kiss by Prince.
Zombie does.
Kiss by
People get
Zombie.
crazy when we
Zombie
play
was a
zombies. It's
surprise.
nuts.
Yeah, yeah. They
actually
sing
got
along with
it.
everything.
Oh, yeah.
We do the Gnarls Barkley version of
you
Crazy,
Crazy, yes.
Yeah.
which everyone gets
Yeah.
up and
Yeah,
dances
that's
to
a good
every
song, yeah.
time. So.
That requires some interesting
The setup.
stuff for me.
Guitar.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 It's a different tone. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool though.
It's
Very
cool,
cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, let's get into a little bit of your musical journey.
Okay.
My favorite question to ask, because 6 years old, that's a pivotal point to where you're growing up. You've gone through infancy, through whatever. So I'm going to start with you over here. At age 6, when somebody asked you, what do you want to be when you grow up? What was your answer then?
A carpenter.
Why?
Because my dad was one, and
Okay.
I built a lot of forts. And-
Yeah.
I
yeah,
love
that's
forts.
true. Yeah, yeah. And that was it. Yeah. Musically, I wasn't really into music yet, but
What age did you start into music?
well, I was 12 when I got a guitar.
Okay.
So probably like 8.
A
9,
guitar,
10.
but not a bass?
Oh, guitar. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I started out playing guitar. Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, that's where I started with.
Now, did you buy your own guitar? Did your parents buy it for you? Did you take lessons?
No, my mom I was at a Little League game, just finished the game. My mom, sitting there with her in the stands, a gal next to her selling a guitar. She goes, "You want to play guitar?" I said, "Yeah." So she bought me a guitar right then.
Really?
I took lessons at the church, and
Uh-huh.
that's how it started. Yeah, I had no intentions on it. It was just came about
Okay.
about as quick as I said it.
Okay. And then, so bring us through like junior high, high school. How did you get to be where are you? Where
I
you
played
are
with
now?
some buddies. We had a little band in school, and we jammed a lot, and then I kind of got out of it when I had my mid-20s. I raised a family, and then got back into it when I met Gary and all them.
At what age were you when you finally got back into it?
Oh, I was really old, like 90.
Oh my God, I must be like 150.
No, about 50, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And how old are you now?
58.
Okay.
But I've been playing I play at my house all the time, but so I never really got out of it. But as far as playing with people, yeah. When 4 Shades of Grey, we got together, and then I met Gary. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Who mentored you? Did you take lessons? Were your parents supportive?
I took a lot of lessons. Yeah, when I was
Okay.
in my 16, 17, my teens, I took a lot of lessons from music shops in the Bay Area. I had my people I really liked. Like I was a big Skinner fan, so I really followed, their bass player, and then I was just actually, he became my mentor in bass. You know, I was a rocker all of my life, and then I was always the guy that could play guitar, but there was somebody better in the band that could play guitar, but I had a bass, so I played the bass.
So what was your pivotal moment where you decided to change over to the bass?
Probably Four Shades. Yeah, because they were good guitar players, and I had a bass, and I play bass. So I'm one of those. I'm kind of like Jason here with a lot of gas. You know, I got a lot of instruments. So.
Okay, explain what gas is.
Oh, okay.
It's not what you think.
Thank goodness.
Depends on who you're talking to.
Yeah.
What is gas?
We're all
Really, we're all kind of just.
It's
What does
guitar
gas mean?
acquisition syndrome.
Okay,
You know,
guitar
so-
acquisition syndrome.
Yeah, so you're always wanting to buy another guitar,
Okay.
buy another instrument, buy another amp, buy another piece to
Tell
the
me who
puzzle.
can relate to gas.
Probably every musician.
I think.
Yeah.
Oh, I know you
If you guys are listening, now you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, he has it. We both have it. We all have it. But yeah, that's what happened. So I just
Okay.
bought a lot of instruments.
How many do you have?
I got like 4 basses, guitars probably. I'm gonna go light as 8, maybe 10. Yeah.
And where do you house them all? Do you have a warehouse? Or?
Oh no, my house, my home. Yeah. I have a shed. A music
Okay.
shed. Yeah.
Is it interlock and key?
Oh,
Especially
yeah.
to get in?
Oh, it's nicely locked. Yeah.
Guard dogs, alarms, lasers, everything.
Yeah, Exactly. I mean, because it's they're expensive.
Yeah. How much would you say you have invested in guitars and bass in your musical instrument? Okay, I'm going to get to you in a second.
I bought a lot of my equipment. I bought years
Let me
back.
tell.
Years back when they got them at pennies on the dollar, and now I got investments in them. So I probably have 20 grand is probably light on value of me spending. Not even half of that. Yeah. Probably 7 or 8, 6. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you say your best investment was?
I got a P bass that I play that I paid $350 for, and it's probably worth 3 grand. I don't play it now with this band, but it's got a good value. It's a 76. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. That's probably my best investment.
Yeah. Okay.
That was like 25 years ago.
So I'm going to ask you, what are your influences and what was your first concert?
That would be, first concert was we did for Father Steve, and I lived in Pinole. He was going away party. We had it at St. Joseph's Church, me and my buddy Tim, and Clay Tormey on drums, and it was a good show for them, for the father, moving to a different parish. So. Yeah, that was my first one. And then the Stone. We did a lot of Stone in the city. I worked for a lot of bands out there. My buddy Tim Reeve, they have a good band, and Derek Reeve. There's some good. Back in the '80s, they were really up and coming bands that we did a lot of work. I did a lot of sound and lights for them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was cool. Good
Okay.
times. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, thank you for sharing.
Sure.
Okay. I'm on to you.
Thank you for pointing that out. I didn't
I'm
know.
going to
learning
tell
all
you
kinds
what's
of
really
stuff.
cool is you're going to find out things about your band members you never knew, which is really cool.
That's
Are you
scary
ready?
as
Okay, so age 6. What did you want to do when you were age 6?
artist drawing.
Really?
Yes,
Why?
absolutely.
In my mind.
Because I loved
See, I'm
it.
telling you. Yeah?
Because I loved it. I'm good at it.
Yeah?
But I just ran out of time to follow that pursuit.
Why did you run out of time?
Life? I don't know. I got into guitar too, or got into music. I mean, so your next question is something like, when was your first guitar? When did you first get into music, right? So I believe the gentleman's name was Lee Raymond, and we were living in San Mateo in a quadruplex, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
A little kid. I was a little kid. And
Like
Lee,
what, 7, 8?
I don't even remember. Probably younger than that. And I mean, back in the age of metal, roller skates that you strap to your shoes,
That kind of,
and you hit a pebble and you go down hard,
The early
right?
1950s.
So Lee was a Vietnam vet with PTSD. They didn't call it that back then. He used to come over to our house or to our quadruplex, don't call it our house, our home, and just sit and stare, sit on the couch and just. But he was a fantastic folk guitarist. And he actually ended up marrying one of the ladies that started the puzzle people. I don't know if you heard about them, but anyways, they do wooden puzzles, and I think they're still around and stuff. They're fantastic. Anyways, so he taught me some very basic things on guitar, like, you know, when the Saints go marching in and stuff like that, which was kind of fun. And so that was my introduction to music. But then I went back to drawing, because drawing was so much more fun. Well, it didn't hurt, too. I mean, it kind of hurts to play guitar, especially when you're learning. So drawing was fun. And anyways, I went back to that and making, fake radio news shows with my sister on the tape and doing those kind of things, and just having a ball. So I guess I've always been somewhat creative. Then at some point, my parents bought me a junior acoustic guitar, which the action of the strings was like this high. It hurt. It was painful. It was horrible. It was miserable. But they bought it for me, lovingly. Sure. So I tried. I tried. And then when I was almost 16, it was Christmas, and my mom bought me my first electric guitar.
Yeah.
It was a Kramer Striker. Modvi, Kramer, Betty Van Halen played a Kramer. A bunch of people in that era played a Kramer, and it was metallic red. And Modvi, by Modvi, I mean the top part right here was really long, and this one's really short. You know that kind of style?
Yeah.
Whammy bar, all that stuff. And I plugged that into some little PV Bandit amp, I think, a little tiny PV Bandit amp, and I just fell in love. And the next week I stayed home sick from school. and this time I'm living in Elk Grove. We moved out of the Bay Area, and I'm living in Elk Grove. And I took my acoustic guitar, the junior acoustic guitar, and went a gas fireplace.
Oh no!
And I took that thing and I smashed it. Smashed it in a gas fireplace. Took a match and lit it and watched it burn. I'm like, oh, thank God that's good. So then, from then on, it was rock and roll for me.
Nice.
It was rock and roll. And absolutely. Started learning music from a guy named Dirk Van Stralen, who was also in our high school, and was famous for having nearly 1,000 Eddie Van Halen posters in his room. He was classically trained kind of thing, but then went to that. And so I started learning stuff from him. You mentioned Chuck Berry. In geometry class, Dirk wrote down the tab to a Chuck Berry song, Johnny Be Good. And so that's what that's how I really started. It's like, okay, now I know how to read. Now and so I can read music, but it doesn't make any sense for guitar to me, because you can play the same note. If you got a note there, same note at up to 5 different places on the guitar, same note, same octave. It's like, how do I know where to put my finger? It's not like a piano where it's always right there.
Linear.
Yeah, exactly. So I discovered tablature. It opened up my world. And then I was using my ears, learning Rush, note for note, playing. Just driving my parents crazy. I can't believe they put up with me.
Well, that's another question: is parent support? I mean, do they have earplugs? Do they kick you out of the house? Do they, We
had a raised foundation, wood floor, so I would be in my room with my 500-watt PV Rockmaster amp or whatever, like no reverb, just tubes glowing, on 0 with the preamp turned up. And they could hear me in the kitchen through the vents, I mean, that was literally on 0, no volume, so loud. It was a lot of fun. So
It's good living.
Yeah. So I got a band with Dirk, and I played guitar, and Gary had another band. We can get to that when Gary gets there, but we were kind of like rival bands in high school. And then I went on to play at UC Davis, even though I didn't go there. We had a band there with my drummer who
How did you get to do that?
It was the weekends, and my drummer that I had was a year ahead of me, so he went to UC Davis.
Okay.
So then every weekend I'd go down to UC Davis, and we'd be practicing, and so we played in apartments there. We played in the what do they call them? Good
Dorms?
Dorms. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Here for you.
Thanks, Tequila. So yeah, all that stuff. So I did that, and it was fantastic. Then I got going back to Turk is when I got started playing bass, because my dad had challenged me to. He had this mini blues festival, this mini private blues festival. He met somebody named Karen Tyler, who used to play this the SPCA's Barbecue and Blues up in Placerville. She played there, and he hired her for this festival. And he challenged me to put a band together, a blues band.
wow.
And I never played blues. I didn't know what the hell blues was. Even though I was a big fan of Elvin Bishop when I was growing up, I had no idea that was blues. I thought it was rock and roll. Blues. So I tried the first year. Couldn't find the people with the cojones to go for it, you know. Next year he asked me again, so I put together a band. I was going to play rhythm guitar. I had a bass player. Didn't show up for the first gig. So I played bass, drinking tequila, doing the only thing I knew to do, because I never played bass before. I picked up a bass, but Dirk happened to have a bass, and I laid my head right next to the drum on the floor, the big kick drum. I'm like, I gotta stick with this. That's all I know how to do. Like, stick with it. And I fell in love with it. I absolutely fell in love with it. So I started playing bass in that band. And that band went pretty far. Headlined at BB King's in 2008 in Hollywood on Grammy Eve, sold the place out. Just doing phenomenal stuff, but at the same time, everybody's having kids and stuff. And so members started changing. Casey eventually came on board, did a fantastic job. Really, I re-energized the band. It was great. And then, but still, there were the problems of commitment. So Gary, yes, you. This is already that you alluded that you told.
The picture.
So Gary is we find ourselves friends on Facebook. I don't remember how or something, but we finally reconnect. And at some point, Gary said, "Hey, you know anybody that plays guitar? You know, my band's, you know, me and my bassist, we need to find a new guitarist. Our band's breaking up.
We need a home.
And I was thinking, I'll keep my eyes and ears open. And I'm sitting on my computer, and about 2 hours pass, and I look up on my wall, and there are guitars hanging on my wall. I'm like, oh shit! I'm a guitarist. I forgot. Please give me a chance. Please give me a chance. And they gave me a chance, and it was, you know, I had to relearn how to play guitar, and they were really patient with me. And I had Casey was available. He's got a little rock and roll in his heart too, and so I kind of reeled him in along. You can tell the story in his own words, but then the Groundwave happened, and I'm in love with these guys. Yeah.
Very cool.
No.
Ow! Oh no, not that one. That one hurts.
It's been abused.
Any other questions on that?
First concert.
Mountain Air 85, Katrina and the Waves,
Oh, wow.
Glenn Fry,
Yeah.
Night Ranger,
Yeah.
and Foreigner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Foreigner's sound went
remember
out.
those shows.
They blew out the freaking PA. All the sound was coming through their monitors and their amps. And, but the rest of the show was really fun. There was
Where was the Mountaineer at?
somewhere in the mountains. I don't know, Calaveras somewhere.
Yeah, I think it was Calaveras. I
Yeah.
remember those shows.
Yeah, that was fantastic. And one of the great parts about that is that I remember is the guy passed out behind us, and his friend started shoving peanuts up his nose. That's my best concert memory ever.
Peanuts up the nose.
Yeah, he just stayed there.
Wow.
Oh my God.
You just stay there?
Yeah. So that was even better than the music, actually. Yeah. Oh, Huey Lewis was in it too. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Very cool. Well, thank you very much for sharing.
You're welcome.
Okay.
That one.
Very
I didn't know the first
8-6.
concert was about where you went.
What did you want to be when you grew up?
You know, it's going to sound like I'm making up this answer, but I really wanted to be a drummer. I
Yeah?
really did.
Yeah,
At
why?
age 6.
Why?
You know, it's going to sound weird too, because I was influenced by Kiss.
Okay.
I mean, that was the height of the Kiss army. I wanted to be Peter Criss. He had the best makeup. You know, I didn't even know what drums were, but like,
Difference of opinion here. You'll get your chance.
Hold on. So, were your parents into music at that time? Did they have it on in the house? Why that?
Yeah, we had a lot of music in the house.
Okay.
My dad, in particular, was kind of a hippie. Listened to a lot of hippie music. I grew up with a lot of like Hot Tuna and Jefferson Airplane and Bob Dylan and
All the singer-songwriter stuff.
singer-songwriter stuff. I still have all the albums. That was the kind of music that I really dug. Beatles. I have really great memories of my older brother and my 2 older cousins. The 4 of us formed a little band. We called ourselves the Young Beatles.
Yeah.
And we did Beatles songs. And I had my first little cheap ass drum set that I kind of pieced together out of my mom's pots and pans, and we did like Day Tripper, and we did Bee Gees tunes, which you know.
You didn't know that, did you?
Listen, our testicles had not descended. We can still hit those notes, right?
No judgment. This is a no judgment zone.
No judgment. He's blushing right now. You see the blush.
They were good memories until now. I don't know.
That's what you're doing.
Shouldn't open that door.
See, I'm telling you, you find out things you never knew. I'm telling you.
So I was,
Did I warn you?
but I was really influenced, you know, at an early age by the Beatles. So Ringo Starr, you know, Peace and Love, and certainly by Peter Criss from Kiss. I mean, I collected all the cards and part of the Kiss Army. So.
How many times have you seen Kiss?
Actually, I've only seen him a couple of times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you
Once
going to
with
see them
makeup,
this
once
last
without
go round?
makeup, and then we might have to go.
Yeah, I would think you probably have
Peter's
to.
not there though. I mean,
What?
sorry, no offense, but yeah, they still rock. So.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So at that young age, you want to be a drummer. So bring us up through high school and through.
So I got my first drum kit. I actually got a little cheapo kind of one of those first act kind of Sears drum sets that I think I broke the heads on in the first week or something.
Did you buy it or did your parents?
No, my parents did.
Okay.
So yeah, they actually
What age
were.
was that?
That was probably about 7 or 8 years old.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's early enough on. And then in high school, I bought a fairly inexpensive CB700 kit that I played all through high school.
Yeah.
And then finally sold that when I think it was when our son was born. I think I decided that it was too loud in the house. So, and I really was kind of a piece of shit. So I really wanted to get rid of this kit and get something beautiful, which is fun. So, yeah. But
It is very nice.
I went for 10 years without playing at all.
Really?
Yeah, after selling that set, I went for about 10 years before I bought the kit behind it.
So why did you decide to get back into it after 10 years?
I missed it. I missed it a lot, and it's kind of hard, you know, when you're not playing with other people. And but I decided, I really want to buy like the set of my dreams, and so I went out and got this kit, and I was just kind of,
And you're still
messing
married.
around in the studio. I'm still married.
We love you.
I do not have.
I remember the opening statement was
Just returning back to the guitar acquisition syndrome.
Is it the drum acquisition?
No, it's very different from me. I'm very particular. So I bought the specific drum set that I wanted in the color that I wanted in the
So only had to
dimensions
do
that
it
I
one
wanted.
time.
Only had to do
Only
it
one time, not a bunch.
Yeah, I think it's funny because he's like, "Oh, I just picked up my new guitar," and I'm like, well, "I got a new set of drumsticks." That's about all I have to buy at this point. Replace
How
the
many
heads
pairs of
once in a
drumsticks
while.
do you have?
Just enough to get me through the gig usually.
Okay, which is how many?
I usually bring about 4 pairs.
So in your whole time you've been playing drums, how many pairs of drumsticks do you think you've gone through?
Oh Lord.
I've never asked anybody that question.
That's a good question. Yeah, it'd have to be hundreds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The tips usually go first on them, and then I just chuck them.
Now, has your style changed, or do you choose different sticks, or are you sticking with the same one?
I am sticking with the same sticks right now, although they're becoming increasingly difficult to find. I use Vic Firth 5A Shoguns, which are Japanese oak, and for some reason they're becoming just increasingly difficult
Extinct?
to find. Yeah, I don't know if
For
the
some
oak is
reason,
rare.
they're specific as can be. I think that's the reason.
you guys are listening.
Made by a fat kid in a wheelchair over in Japan.
Yeah, right.
He has no name, but if you find him, you let me know.
The trees are massaged and
Right.
beers
Right.
so that they can.
You're so dope.
I've never heard anybody say a specific.
Yeah, it's very specific.
Okay.
Yeah, almost too much so. But I actually thank you, Skips. Skips will still bring them in for me.
Okay.
They'll buy a
Special
whole,
order.
brick of them special order for me, and I
Okay.
can, peel off about 6 pair at a time.
Okay. Very cool. Now, parent support. Do your parents are they still involved? Are they still live? Are they supportive of
My
you?
mom
Where
will
you're
come
going?
out to our shows occasionally.
Okay.
My parents divorced about age 8 for me, and so my parents were separated. My dad lives up in Oregon. My mom is still local, so she'll come out and see
nice.
shows occasionally if they're early enough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
she
again,
comes
it's before
and
10 o'clock. Should be okay.
Yeah.
User gigs.
Yeah,
What about
these are
your
days.
parents, real quick?
Yeah.
Parents is still in the picture,
Oh,
supportive.
yeah, absolutely.
Do they come to shows?
No.
Are they in the area?
Okay, so my mom lives in Reno now.
Okay.
My dad and my stepmom, who's been, by functioning, mother at home
Sure.
since I was in 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, anyways, still have a great relationship with both sets of parents. But my dad prefers blues.
Oh, okay. That going back to the blues.
He prefers blues.
Okay.
So
What about your parents?
Both passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a stepmom and stepdad though.
Okay. Do they come to your shows? Do they know
My
what you're
stepmom
doing?
does. My stepmom
Yeah?
comes up from the Bay Area.
Oh, nice.
She's been to a few shows. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very
Definitely
cool.
My
I always love to
stepbrothers.
hear that. That's
Yeah, my
awesome.
stepsister and stepbrother, Greg and Stacy, they come up.
Mhm. Oh,
My
very cool.
stepmom